trainer for tonight, triad trainer tonight, is none other than Marianne Tapascio. And I'm going to tell you, when you, see the word superwoman, supermom, supermomshi, Marianne Tapascio does it all. I feel like she's a battery that never loses its energy or never loses, its spark. And so she's going to talk about some, maybe testimonies, but just how to keep that fire burning as far as the crusade it's about the crusade. And I just believe that Marianne Tapascio is just putting all the seeds necessary, and she will be JAF's next RVP. I believe this year. We're claiming it. We're praying for it. She's putting all the effort. And, Team Fam JF, we got to make sure we pray for Marianne Tapascio. She's just this close to heading towards that direction. So without further ado, to close it out for our triad training on Mastery 101 on the Crusade, let's pass the baton to none other than their senior regional leader, Marianne Tapascio. Marianne, take it away.
Thank you, shot caller. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear, we can hear you.
Okay. So how do I get my PowerPoint? Okay. I don't think I have that much time, but great job, Rachel. I remembered so vividly when I got you recruited during a referral client, and that's your mom, and she's really a prospect, and you did great job. Okay, this is about the power of our crusade, and let me see. What's the next? There. A little about myself, my story. I got licensed with Primerica April 2004. I'm a former registered nurse like RBP Lilia. I work at UCSD for 15 years, 12 to 16-hour shift. Most of the time it's like overtime pay and a lot of pay, but no time for the family. I have 2 boys at the time, 4 and 7 years old, Matthew, and my husband. He's active in the U.S. Navy, and he worked for 24 years. The reasons why I joined Primerica, number 1 is for the freedom and flexibility of time and money. Number 2 is the financial education and coaching. And number 3, I dream of having my own Primerica business someday, like our National Sales Director, Lillian Lila Reyes. And of course, be financially free, like everybody else that's here tonight. That's my picture of my family, my wife, and now they are grown up and we are all licensed. Jacob is the youngest, got licensed last year and got his training bonus also. That's what Rachel was talking about on her slides. What is a crusade? The crusade, in definition, is a long and determined attempt to achieve something that you believe in strongly. Its synonyms is cause, drive, or movement. Okay. Next, Primerica's crusade, and that's always since 1977, is buy term, that's the life insurance, and invest the difference. With regards to life insurance, we always call that it's an income protection. As what Rachel said a while ago, it's a quote from Theodore Roosevelt, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Actually, the real magic of how I get people to, even though I don't know them, a prospect, we genuinely care for our clients and recruits. We walk the talk. So whatever we say, we have it, for ourselves, for our family. You're not just selling insurance, you have it for yourself too. That's walking the talk. Then, oops, I have to go back. How do I go back, Christian? I missed one slide. How do I go back? There. So, not the next one, please. That's to going back. I don't know how to go back. Next. Yes, that's one. Thank you. Do you know why we do what we do? That's our mission. Is to help families earn more income, become properly protected, debt-free, and financially independent. And everybody knows that if you're a Primerican. Because us middle-income families are hardworking and don't have the chance to be financially free. Myself and Lilia, when we were nurses, we earned good income, but we don't really got educated with finances. So it's really hard, even though you have a lot of money, if you don't know how to spend or how to save it, I should say, well, you're still gonna be broke, like paycheck to paycheck. So there are two guarantees in life. I believe everybody will agree. We are born, then of course there's the death, but we don't know when. So with life insurance, your family is gonna be okay. But without life insurance, the family you're gonna leave behind will be financially devastated. Would you agree? Then if you have a job, we work, of course you have to pay taxes, right? Or else you're gonna be penalized or have a tax lien, right? So that's the two guarantees, the death and the taxes. And these are my testimonies since I started. And, some clients that I actually closed and, they're, pass away already. That's why I put it here. Good things happen, not good things, they pass away. It's, good things happen because I got them protected, okay? Good things happen when Primerica shows up. July 2004, when I met this client, and I have a new recruit, a trainee, and that's my son's teacher. Jacob's K4, and the teacher is the trainee. The client is 45 years old. He's in the U.S. Navy chief, homeowner, has 2 young children, and his wife is only a homemaker, so no job. They had 100,000 cash value for him and the wife, and none on the kids. That time, I'm very new. I licensed to April 2004, July 2004. I'm already, getting people to train with me, and that's with the teacher. So I have to bring RBP Lilia this time when, we don't have the bonus and everything that yet. So we replaced the policies, 400,000 for the husband, 200 on the wife, and 25 on each kid. And she closed some investments for this client. And after, few months, 3 months, they're about to cancel the policy. Because the cash value is like calling them and everything. But I have a great relationship with the trainee, and that's my son's teacher. So they keep the policy. As you can see, I closed 2004 July, and on December 2004, he was diagnosed to have a bone cancer. So he died on November 2008 with a 400, because there's the increasing benefit rider. So it's a 400,000, but it increased. And he have some mutual funds. So the wife paid off their mortgage as her, husband's death wish that time. So that's a big amount. And this is my very first client, not about to, cancel the policy, but he kept it because of the, relationship with the trainee, with the recruit. She's still a recruit right now, the teacher of mine. Another testimony is on October 2007, I prospected a 33-year-old client, single mom, 5 kids. The youngest is about 2, and the eldest about 12. So imagine 5. So it's like, 2, then 4, then, 12. 12 is the oldest. Through an existing client who is her mother, who's about 60 plus years old, and also a prospect. She's a registered nurse with 2 full-time jobs. So like with RBP Lilia, 1 in Kaiser and 1 in Sharp, something like that. And she's getting her degree to be a doctor in a few 2 to 3 years. But no existing life insurance, just the job, life insurance, the work. We issued the policy in November 2008 because, this is like a year of courting her. See, October, I met her, then 2008, I closed the policy after a year of going back and calling, Finally, because I spoke with her mother to be the policy owner. Because, she has the policy, but I told the mom, what's going to happen to your daughter if, she has 5 kids and you're the one who's going to be the guardian of your 5 grandchildren. So she agreed, and, we closed, and it's a preferred rate. She has no health issues. She's so young and, nurse and everything. But January 2009, this is a medical negligence. She passed away. She's supposed to have a minor gallbladder stone surgery. They give her the anesthesia and she never woke up. And, November 2008 policy issued. She passed away January. This is like just 2 months of premium with a 350,000 coverage. So that's, when I go to clients, I usually show if they kind of like don't know what's a life insurance is about. my testimonies because I asked permission from this client that if I can, show my example. So I always show my example if you have to. Then another one, September 2014, the train here is my sister-in-law, and she's still licensed with us. This is her client, 40-year-old mom with 2 young kids. She's a CNA full-time, and that's my sister-in-law's co-worker and a cashier part-time. Her husband still lives in the Philippines, so there's no existing policy, not even at work. There's no benefit at work, no health insurance, no life insurance, no nothing. So at first, she refused to set, because this is my sister-in-law's training, and she refused to sit down with us because her husband's not here yet. So no, he's still in the Philippines. But after a few calls, I asked her number, I talked to her, I told her, can we meet so we can explain further, because it's really hard to be on the phone, just to help out for my sister-in-law's training. So, long story short, we closed at 200,000 on her and 25 each on the children, because I told her, even though your husband's not yet here, you are here with your 2 young kids. So if you have no policy, what's gonna happen to them? We can add your spouse, your husband, once he comes to the US, once he comes here. So April 2019, this is last year, it's her anniversary. She died of breast cancer. The spouse came as a tourist February 2019. What if we did not persist? We just tell her, okay, we wait for your husband, then we're never gonna get that, life insurance to the family. So her death wish was granted by her family to to fly back to the Philippines and get buried there. And that's a lot of money. So the husband's still here, with the immigration papers going on with the 2 minor kids. Then the last one, testimony. I have a lot, but I'm giving you this is I miss again. I need to go back 1 page, please. There. Last one, this is just recent. He's been a client since 2011 through a field training new recruit, and that's the daughter. We got her recruit. These are all under Rachel's downlines. The dad is 50 years old with 4 young children. These are the children that actually are recruited also and got licensed from the ages of 18 to 22. His job is a gardener. The wife still lives in the Philippines, and he has no life policy, even in a job. So we closed at 50,000 that time, but after 3 years, it got terminated. So the daughter was licensed when it got terminated. So she did another new policy to her dad. Then after a while, it got terminated again. Then we reinstate. Then it's just like back and forth. He cannot keep the policy like more than 3 or 4 years. So what happened? November 2018, I've been checking my terminated client's file, in the POL, and I've seen him don't have the policy again. So I called. I did a several call and text to him and the daughter, who is still a recruit, who's still licensed, and there's no reply. So I asked RVP Lilia if we can come and drop by to that house. They live in Palm Avenue. Several times we did it. It's actually raining so hard. It's during the nighttime, and they're there, but waiting for the daughter. So we actually can't sit down with them. They're not really available. They're there, but there's something going on, or they're not there, or nobody's opening the door. It's a dark house. So after being, being persistent, I finally got them locked in. We went, me and RVP Lilia, we got the policy issued, and December, then January 2019, I delivered the policy. The daughter is the owner. She signed it, a premium of 1 time 73. He's a smoker, but he has no medical major issue. February 2019, I got a text from the daughter that he's sick. He's in the hospital. They don't know what's going on with him yet. And after a few days, he passed away. It's an unknown primary cause. So if I did not go back like several times to drop by, me and Auntie Lilia is my witness. It's really, really, there's nothing for the family. There's nothing. They have their income, but that's the dad who's actually, he's still a breadwinner to the family, even though the kids have their own part-time, full-time job. So that's like a few testimonies. So my tips on how I close my life insurance a prospect or a recruit or whoever. So usually I ask, do we agree to all of you guys that everyone needs a life insurance, right? Everyone. So how do I communicate to clients? I usually ask the questions. So this is for a prospective client, like you don't know, but you prospect. After the presentation and everything, so for example, so Rachel, so what do you think is your most valuable asset? They will usually say, oh, my house, my car, whatever. Great answer, right? But if it's not life, but would you agree, life insurance I'm talking about, if that's not the answer, their life, but would you agree that you are the breadwinner or the income provider in your family? They will say yes. So do you love and care for your family? Usually it's a yes, right? So what do you think will be their situation later if you are not there anymore to provide that income? So this is like closing them to the life insurance for them to say yes to you. You just have to ask that question. So be genuinely sincere. Okay, that's to a prospect. After the presentation and everything, they have no existing policy. Then another prospect. So if they're single, and they don't have that much, assets, no house, just an apartment or whatever. So, Rachel, are you a responsible person? They will usually say yes. So do you love and care for your family? If they have a boyfriend or significant other, they will say yes. That's great. So when a responsible person, like you said, that you love and care for, whoever's that, would you agree that some life insurance in place is a need, at least to pay for your final expenses later on? So, they're not gonna shoulder whatever expenses, how they're gonna be buried or cremated or whatever. So be honest and sincere. That's, I just say it in a nice way, but the question should be there. So it will tell them to, it will open their mind to, oh, really, I really need one. So it's not gonna be a GoFundMe or whatever, And last one, this is for the recruits, licensed or unlicensed. For example, so Rachel, so when you offer a life policy to any of the family or person out there that you sit down with, that person or family might ask you, and this happened to me when I was very new, to my own brother-in-law. He asked me this. So I like your presentation, Mary, and your financial game plan. But can I see first what you have for yourself before I decide for myself or for our family? So you have to show, because they're asking, right? If you don't have that game plan, your life policy and investments and everything, so do you think you will be able to close that policy to someone if you yourself don't have one, right? So this is really like, if you're a recruit, unlicensed, unlicensed, and you're doing life insurance later to families, even my own family, it happened to me. He's my brother-in-law. So you always have to be, this is my tip, always be ready to show your own policy and your financial game plan. This is like walking the talk. So this is, these are some of my tips. And the same quote that what Rachel said from Theodore Roosevelt, nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. And last from my Bible, Matthew 21:22, if you believe, you will receive whatever you ask for in prayer. So like 9 out of 10, I usually close. Either a prospect or whoever is that. Thank you. Good night, JF.